question. The member from Carleton.
Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Education. The Auditor General earlier this morning confirmed that the Liberal government paid over $19 million in secret payouts to education stakeholders, above and beyond contract negotiation, transfer payments, and even the $600,000 at the Sheraton Hotel. $22 million of that, Speaker, was undocumented. The Liberals took this money out of classrooms intended for students. And I want to quote from the Auditor General, "We found very little evidence of governments paying education sector unions for significant bargaining costs anywhere else in Canada. Accordingly, Ontario is an outlier with respect to the use of taxpayer funds." Mr. Speaker, this practice only stopped when the government got caught. They have admitted this was wrong and that the money came from kids in classrooms. How does the Minister of Education justify taking $90 million out of the classroom when it was intended for students?
Thank you. You seated, please. Thank you. Minister of Education.
First of all, I absolutely reject the issue that it was taken out of classrooms. It was not taken out of classroom money. It was taken out of what's called Education Program Other, which is used for funding professional development. So it was not taken out of classrooms. That's a totally incorrect interpretation. What I will say is that we have a long-standing practice in Ontario of working with all our partners. We actually believe that when it comes to professional development, that it's most effective if everybody is part of it. We fund school boards for professional development. We fund the directors' organization.
Answer.
We fund teacher organizations. We fund subject organizations, faculties of educations, and yes, teachers' union.
Supplementary.
Perhaps the minister would like to read the report as I did, and she would understand that her interpretation of the auditor's report is wrong. It came directly from the Elementary and Secondary School Education Development Fund, meaning it came from grants for needs of students. Exactly where that came from. Liberals are now closing provincial and demonstration schools. They're kicking kids off the autism waitlist, as we saw yesterday. They're closing rural schools, including urban schools, because my daughter's school might be on the chopping block, Mr. Speaker. 38 school boards had to cut their student special education funding to the tune of, guess what, $22 million. Parents are forced to fundraise in Windsor for basic needs, including school repairs. So I'll go back. Generously ask the government education minister for a second chance at responding to me. Why is this government forcing kids to sit in portables with their jackets on all winter at the same time that they are sending $90 million, almost undocumented? And what kind of priority is this? This is the education.
Order. Order. Start the clock. A reminder for everyone, you speak to the chair. Minister?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And of course, the money did not come from the Grant for Student Needs. The Grant for Student Needs is a regulation which very clearly lays out the calculation for money to go to school boards, and we follow that regulation always. But let me tell you, Speaker, what the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development had to say about professional development in Ontario, the OECD. It said, and I quote, "The Ontario experience suggests instead that by treating teachers as professionals and including them at the table, they were able, that's Ontario was able to build considerable goodwill, a critical resource for long-term and sustainable